How going, everyone? Sasuke Uchiha here. Welcome back to the channel. Of course, it's me, the Uchiha that Itachi forgot that went to YouTube, naturally. But here we have it. As you can see on our screen here, we have a panel from the Boruto Manga from chapter 69 specifically. And as you can probably deduce from the title already, I want to have more of a casual discussion, kind of look back on some previous scenes with Sasuke and a bit of Mitsuki mixed in here and there, and to kind of just discuss with you guys what Sasuke's probable fate is going to be going forward in the series, given that, spoilers, Kawaki has finally sealed away Naruto in addition to Hinata. So yeah, of course, leave a like, let me know your thoughts on the probable fate of Sasuke and just your overall predictions for chapter 78 and beyond, because honestly I feel like anything goes at the moment. So what we'll be doing is just basically going over some of the previous chapters, some specific scenes, of course some of the scenes, well, mostly the scenes that Sasuke was in over the course of the last 10 chapters, give or take, and just kind of dissect and talk about it, just discuss, nothing too crazy. So let's get into it. So these first few are from chapter 69. And of course, this is the conversation that Sasuke had with Boruto once, they came back from the fight against Code and he was revived. And, after Sasuke basically learned that Kawaki had killed Boruto, so he's basically feeling guilty here. So here we have it. He's saying, "Forgive me, Boruto. Stopping Momoshiki's rampage was my responsibility as your teacher, but I couldn't be there when you needed me, Master. And Kawaki had to take on a painful role too. The village doesn't need to hate anyone else besides me." Now, I think that's interesting for Sasuke to still be saying that the village doesn't need to, hate anyone else besides him. I think you can interpret that a lot of ways, but at the same time, I'm thinking, yo, what do you mean by that, Sasuke? Like, is there some part in your mind where you feel like you haven't really atoned for everything you've done? It's interesting, It kind of sets up like, okay, maybe he's thinking like, I'm going to die at some point to really truly atone. Maybe that could be a stretch, but it's interesting that he has that line of dialogue. Of course, going forward, they do talk about the fact that it's unfair for the village to really despise or hate Kawaki, but if anyone were to really find out, like, it wouldn't really be a nice situation for Kawaki, to say the least. So here we have Boruto saying, "So you heard that Kawaki was the one who killed me? Only a select few know. It's for the best. Quite a few already disapproved of Kawaki being here in the first place. But I asked him to do it. I told him to kill me. It's not right that he's getting blamed. The one who is despised killed the Hokage's son. Whatever else, that's a fact. It can't be helped that additional bias is heaped on. But that's just wrong, especially since I'm alive and fine. Of course, besides, he's the only one I could have made such an unreasonable request to, because we acknowledge each other as bros." Of course, Sasuke is kind of reminded of his dynamic between him and Naruto when he says brothers, huh? And this is the interesting part, I think, with chapter 69, where Boruto tries to give Sasuke back his headband. And I know a lot of persons really dissected this scene where he told Boruto to keep it, especially since if it's helpful to him. And of course, Boruto says he'll treasure it for the rest of his life. So, maybe more indications there. But then Sasuke goes on to ominously say, I might be the one having to show his resolve next. Ooh, so that is more than interesting, to say the least. So Sasuke kind of seemingly pointing dead flags over himself, and anything is possible. But I think what interesting part that really ties Mitsuki into all of this is in this same chapter when he says, "And supposing someone were to try to kill Boruto, I really don't know what I would do to that person." Of course, that's during his conversation with Sarada. If we go a bit further, right, and try to tie things into a lot of what's happening now, or at least as of chapter 77, where Momoshiki, or at least in chapter 72, when Momoshiki appeared again to Boruto to say, yo, the time when you're going to lose everything is rapidly approaching. And then we combine that with what Mitsuki said, in addition to the flash forward scene that we had of what it seems to be Kawaki, some chaotic situation with Kawaki, Mitsuki, Sarada, Inashika Tro, the modern day ones. It seems, to say the least, that whatever is going to potentially be happening with like a Sasuke and Mitsuki will be happening like in the span of time between chapters 78 and maybe even 84. Just a general prediction in terms of the space of chapters I think things are going to really go down in. So that's going to be interesting. And of course, we go to chapter 73, where the last time we saw Sasuke was, during Team 7's, their briefing for the upcoming mission with Ida and Damon. And, with Boruto and Kawaki kind of living in with them, we had Sasuke on the roof talking to Naruto about the mission. And during the briefing, we had Momoshiki show up, and the only persons who managed to actually sense or see him were Kawaki, as you can see in this panel here, and Sasuke, similarly to how he would have sensed him during the end of the Momoshiki arc when Momoshiki gave Boruto the karma initially. So that's the interesting thing. And of course, he was only able to do that since he had a Rinnegan, or it was heavily implied that was the case. And that was the last time we saw Sasuke. Now, I've kind of spoken on length that this could be indication that Kishimoto is indicating that there is going to be some narrative thread, power-wise or upgrading wise, when it comes on to Sasuke, or it could just be indicating that there is some kind of remnants of the Rinnegan's abilities still there. I mean, technically, he should still have 6-path chakra, so, but I'm just saying, I've already spoken about that already. But given all of this here, especially what was shown in the conversation between Boruto and Boruto and Sasuke in chapter 69, to be honest, and how I generally feel, with Naruto out of the way, out of the story. That sounds so odd, I know, but I think Naruto acts as that first domino, and he's going to create that domino effect where a number of other characters, like I keep saying anything goes, but I think especially when it comes down to Sasuke and his character, anything is going to go, to say the least, because for the longest time, from part 1 to part 2, like Naruto and Sasuke have always felt like two sides of the same coin. Their stories kind of feel almost interwoven or linked together like that. And for Naruto to be out of the story right now, I think that kind of puts Sasuke from the frying pan and pushes him into the volcano, to say the least. It just feels like any safeguards that would have narratively tied Sasuke to Naruto, since Naruto's out of the way now, like Sasuke, like anything can happen with him, and it's not like they've been treating Sasuke the best when it comes on to the Boruto era already. So if they're taking Naruto out of the story for now at least, then what's that going to say about Sasuke? Of course, these are just my general top level feelings on the matter. If we kind of go into the story and try to dissect it even more, when it comes on to Kawaki, who's going to want to like kill Boruto, at least at this point, because he says something different when it comes on to the time skip. Like that first scene that we got in Boruto seems like he's changed his mind and just wants to seal Boruto away. But as it stands right now, he wants to kill Boruto. And I don't see Kawaki shying away from, explaining himself and just saying he's going to do this, this, and this. And given the situation, like I think persons might feel conflicted, like the characters in universe might feel conflicted on it, but at the same time they'll jump more to defend Boruto's life at the moment. But when it comes on to Sasuke right now, like he felt that it was his responsibility to actually take out Boruto, and I think he'll want to actually make that be the case, that he preserves Boruto's life until Boruto actually gets to that point. I think it's going to be a difference. The difference in approach in terms of handling the whole Momoshiki situation is what's going to really put Sasuke at odds with Kawaki and potentially end up in a situation where Sasuke is either going to die, because I don't believe that Sasuke can be Kawaki at this point, and or he's heavily injured and he's also removed from the story, to say the least. And given the situation, given that Sasuke feels like it's his responsibility now and he has that opportunity, I don't think he's going to want Kawaki to go through this right now. And not to mention that, like, even if Boruto wasn't in this situation, like, if Boruto wasn't an option to kill right now, Kawaki still sent Naruto away. That's going to have major implications when it comes on to the running of the village, what others are going to think, and maybe just persons just wildly and randomly maybe attacking Kawaki. And of course, this is going to lead to more of a rift between him and the village, to say the least. So that's going to be the situation. And the thing at the end of the day, when it comes on to the time skip, I believe it's confirmed, correct me if I'm wrong, or let me know if it was confirmed in the comments below, that the sword and the cloak that Boruto has in the beginning of the time skip is actually Sasuke's own. Confirm that for me, guys, please. But given that, if that really and truly is the case, it's not looking good, to say the least. And it would make sense in all the confusion that Ida and Damon probably join up with Kawaki, and in all that madness that's going on, in the rift that's going to be building between Kawaki's, potential newfound group and Konoha, who will use that to his advantage at some point. But that's a discussion for another video. So Sasuke and Mitsuki, right? Mitsuki is definitely, it seems based on these previous chapters, things are being set up for him to fight Kawaki as well, especially based on the flash forward that we got, the soon to be flash forward, because those scenes I don't think are going to take a long time to actually come into play, where we have that scene of, Mitsuki saying that, yo, you've really, like, truly angered me at this point. So I think that's going to be a thing, like, sooner than later. And Sasuke, I think, is going to be a case he's either going to die or heavily injured and removed from the story. To be honest, even though I feel like a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the treatment that Sasuke has been given, it is kind of forming the foundation for him to just be killed at the end in all of this. I actually think there's one saving grace, that based on just, it's a slim chance, but based on this one panel of Sasuke being able to sense Momoshiki as well, that maybe, just maybe, Kishimoto has some plans for him and he'll just be heavily injured, and him and Naruto will just return to the story at some point way later, like with newfound skills and abilities. Maybe, just maybe, it's a stretch, a big stretch, but it's still on the table for Sasuke to die. That's the whole reality of it. The difference in the approach of handling the Momoshiki situation and the guilt and regret he feels and not being able to actually be the one to actually handle the Momoshiki situation when it was going on in the fight against Code. I think he's going to kind of vote for, keeping Boruto alive for now, and that's going to put him in confrontation with Kawaki. That's the naked truth at the end of the day, and I'm looking forward to it, honestly, because Sasuke is, he's the character who's going to do the things that Naruto's not going to do. But I think Kawaki is taking it one step further and actually rushing the situation, because Kawaki, from his perspective, is trying to preemptively, get rid of the issue, get rid of the threat, because of course he saw Momoshiki in the Hokage's office. He's felt this way in terms of not being able to get the job done, as he said in chapter 77. He's felt kind of a bit of a regret, kind of felt bad about not, like, fully killing Boruto or not being able to. And it kind of feels like a situation of, okay, this person is going to do X, Y, and Z. Like, he's going to do a bad thing. He's going to commit a crime. This person's going to commit a crime at, January 30th, 2023. But from, like, all of their life before that point, they've never committed a crime, but they're going to commit a heinous crime on that day. Do you preemptively just jail them, or for a crime they haven't committed yet, or do you wait till they commit the crime and then get rid of them? I think that's the dilemma that's going to be on the table when it comes on to Sasuke and Kawaki in terms of a potential confrontation. I think Sasuke is going to definitely see Kawaki's perspective, but like I don't think he's going to want to jump to say kill Boruto now. And that's the thing at the end of the day. And taking Naruto out of the picture kind of just speeds up the conflict between Kawaki and like Boruto and the village overall, because even if Kawaki say, oh, you know, I'm not gonna bother killing Boruto now, so it's like, but bro, dog, you got rid of Naruto and Hinata. We're forced into a situation of conflict. The Konoha has no choice but to see it as like a hostile, you know, element in their midst. So I think a confrontation between Sasuke, Mitsuki, and Kawaki is inevitable, and this is potentially just going to lead to Sasuke's removal from the story as well, whether it be death or major injury. But given the foundation of everything that's happened with Sasuke in this series, this side of the franchise, I think death is a more probable thing. And then, you know, take into consideration that Boruto, quote unquote, has his sword and, you know, headband in it, well, sword cloak headband in the future. And just, you know, going back off the dialogue that we had here with, you know, I'll keep his headband for the rest of my life. Oh, it's probably soon my time to show my resolve, you know, X, Y, and Z. So I don't know, let me know. But yeah, I just wanted to have a casual discussion with you guys, nothing too crazy. So just let me know, guys. Of course, Sasuke Uchiha here. Like, leave a comment, definitely subscribe. We're almost at 1900 subscribers. I'd appreciate just that, you know, hitting 1900 and beyond. But respectful everyone that's coming out for this, and I'll see you in the next one.